Hi, I'm Rosie, and I will be heading up the literature section of our video series on Ireland. The first Irish piece of literature that we're going to look at is The Importance of Being Earnest. Before we start, here's a little bit about the author. Oscar Wilde was an Irish author who was known for his arrest and imprisonment for being gay. After graduating from Trinity College in Dublin and Magdalen College in Oxford, Oscar moved to London. He started writing poetry and published his first collection in 1881. It didn't do super well, but it put him in the public eye. He lectured for about 9 months across America, which established him as a leading proponent of the aesthetic movement, which is a theory of art and literature that emphasizes the pursuit of beauty for its own sake, rather than to promote any social or political viewpoint, and then wrote prolifically for the next 7 years. For the rest of this video, I'm going to be talking about the important themes and symbols of the importance of being earnest so that you can understand it better while reading, and then you'll be able to talk about these things in discussions and papers. If you didn't get this from reading the play itself, this work is very tongue-in-cheek. It is a comedy of manners that satirizes Victorian manners, customs, and ideals. He is criticizing what Victorians would have upheld in their society. This is important because this was written on the end of the Victorian era. While reading, look out for the word Bunburyist. Bunburyist, Bunburist, that word. As Algernon defines as someone who leads a double life, but in fact, it was a contemporary slang term for male gay sex. And some, if not all, of the contemporary audience would have known this and would have been scandalized by his using this term. You will also see different references to different places around the world, like India, France, Australia. These references are linked to the constant question of identity throughout the play. Speaking of identity, both Algernon and Jack pretend to be people they are not. They have double lives and end up trying to change their name to Ernest by the end of the play to please their love interests. The word earnest being a play on the Victorian ideal of earnestness, as you might see in a Charles Dickens novel. At the end of the play, Jack learns that his real name is Ernest. The marriage plot is an important thing to keep an eye on, because there is a constant tension throughout the play as to what marriage actually is. There is a debate between Algernon and Jack as to whether or not marriage is business or pleasure, unpleasant or pleasant. But by the end, Wilde makes it clear that marriage is a failing institution. Another thing to keep in mind is that Oscar Wilde is an Irish author writing about London. There were and continue to be tensions between Ireland and England, so you can look for commentary on that, such as Algernon's constant state of hunger, which could be interpreted as a representation of England as greedy and consuming the world with an insatiable appetite while others starve. There is also an explicit reference to home rule for Ireland. When Lady Bracknell is questioning Jack about his politics, he says that he is a liberal unionist, which means he does not support home rule. To which Lady Bracknell replies, "Oh, they count as Tories, they dine with us." Jack's political stance and his opinion about home rule only matter to her in regards to her own social engagements, rather than what home rule would have meant for Ireland. This only secures and reinforces Lady Bracknell's and every other character's vapidness and shallowness. There's also Lady Bracknell's exclamation about a handbag. That could be a reference to Ireland being born in a handbag of lower standing. So those are some of the key things that I think are important to look out for when reading The Importance of Being Earnest. So check out our historical videos in Ireland and our other literature videos about Ireland. Bye!